I'd like to make an opening statement, and then we're going to have a few people make statements, and then we'll take questions, okay? So the questions will be afterwards. It won't be long. I'd just like to say this, that the founders of this republic knew that a simple popular vote would make the colony of New York, now a state, pretty much in control of the United States of America. There were 13 colonies. New York was heavily populated, the others were not. So that is why in Article 2, Section 1 of the Constitution is clearly defined what the Electoral College is and what it does. Okay. The same logic exists today. Without the Electoral College, 4 or 5, maybe 6 large states would be running our country, and everybody else in the other states, if they voted or not, wouldn't make a hill of beans. It's designed so that we all have an equal opportunity to influence our government. This current quest by the Socialist Democrats to eliminate the college is now spilling over to criminally attack a group of 16 legally elected electors in the Republican side for the 2020 election. The 16 individuals under attack are not fake electors, like the McLean Daily says today in their article. They were legally elected under Michigan law at convention to represent the Republican Party as electors.
Yep.
The idea of alternate electors is not new. It's happened many times in American history by both Democrats and Republicans in contested elections. The 2020 election to this day is contested as more and more evidence comes out. So the idea of having electors in case Congress were to change the results is not uncommon. You can look it up. It's happened many times in American history. The media, who should be the top protector of our free speech and purveyors of truth, have been long absent and complicit in the endless attack on American liberty. This is the core of what brings us here today. In the behavior of the Michigan Attorney General, we see the blatant disregard for the electoral process in Michigan. If she's that concerned about the integrity of our elections, why doesn't she look at her ally, Ms. Benson, who has been found guilty in Judge Murray's court of loosening election rules, requirements? The recently released Durham report revealed that the President of the United States has been investigated well beyond any leader in American history. Every branch of the federal government has investigated him and found nothing, and they're still investigating him to this very day. Woe to any American that gets investigated like he has been. It was an attempted coup, his first 4 years of office, and it resulted in the 2020 election. There's been a mountain of growing evidence that our elections are being manipulated, and yet to this day, no one will report, talk, or anything about it, and they are punished if they do. This is a witch hunt designed to prosecute and punish citizens who are duly elected to perform major function in presidential elections. It's also designed to promote a phony narrative in order to, hopefully, in their mind, eliminate the Electoral College and go to a popular vote, whereby 4 or 5 states will run our lives, and we won't even have why bother burning gas to go vote, which is perfectly fine with them. Anyway, that's all I have to say, and we'll take questions later. So we have a few people who would like to say a couple things. One of them is the MIGOP co-chair, Melinda Pago. She came all the way from Muskegon today.
Hello, hope you're all well. This is not my thing, this is our chair's anointing. She's much better and qualified speaker than I am, but I have just a few words, and I'm not going to take any questions. Recent events involving actions of the Michigan Attorney General have raised concerns about the dangers of weaponization of government against its citizens. It is crucial to acknowledge and emphasize the importance of a fair and just legal system that protects the rights of all individuals, regardless of the background or beliefs. When government officials use their positions to target and oppress certain groups or individuals, it sets a dangerous precedent that undermines the principles of our representative government and our civil liberties. The weaponization of government power against citizens not only erodes trust in our legal system, but also threatens our fundamental rights and freedoms that we hold dear. It is imperative to remember that if such actions are tolerated or go unchecked, they can easily be turned against any one of us. When the government has the ability to selectively target its citizens, it undermines the very fabric of a just and equitable society. We must be vigilant in safeguarding against the misuse of power and ensure that our legal system upholds fairness, justice, and the protection of individual rights. In order to preserve the integrity of our representative institutions, it is crucial for citizens, legal experts, and concerned individuals to engage in constructive dialogue. We must demand accountability and uphold the principles that form the basis of our society. Only by working together can we strive for a system that serves and protects all of our citizens equally, without the fear of weaponization or abuse of power, in order to restore our precious inheritance of liberty that was bestowed upon us so we can leave it to our children and grandchildren. Thank you.
We invited a couple other people that wanted to be here but could not. The chair of Oakland County, Vance Patrick, made every effort to be here and he couldn't make it. Now we also have Representative Shriver here. Say a few words.
Can you guys hear me okay in the back?
Yes.
Okay. My name is Josh Shriver. I'm the representative in Michigan's 66th district, northern Macomb and northern Oakland County. I just wanted to share 2 words. I have a full statement that is on my Twitter, which is @RepJoshShriver, and I've also passed it out to many of you. Dana Nessel is a thug. I stand with America's patriots. Seeking peaceful, legal remedies is not a crime. I have my full support here, and I welcome any questions.
Are you intimidated in your feeling about what you can say as a result of these indictments of the 16?
I am not intimidated. I'm 6'5". I will stand tall and strong.
Have you spoken to any of those who have been charged?
I have. It's a shame.
Is there any funds out to help them alleviate the expense of the legal fees they're probably going to have?
Not to my knowledge, but I believe that would be a great way to rally together and stand behind these people.
And what can we do as citizens to rally behind them besides what we're doing right now?
Well, the suggestion that you just lofted is a really good idea to crowdfund to be able to help, because it seems like this is just the tip of the iceberg, and if we don't do something now, we're next.
It's already a couple of accounts has been set up at the Go Send Go.
Is this similar to what happened with John F. Kennedy back in the 60s when they did something similar to the people that were elected to be on the ready in case their candidate won?
Yes, I believe there's an article in Breitbart alluding to that point that was released today about a similar situation that occurred in 1960 in Hawaii. Thank you for your time. God bless you.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Now, also, Representative DeBoyer tried to be here, and he could not make it, but he did send a statement, and Lisa, our vice chair, will read that for you.
Okay, so this is from Jay DeBoyer, State Rep for the 63rd House District. It's disappointing to see that politics have crept into our election process. Although the charges filed by Attorney General Nessel are serious, it begs the question, what is the motivation? Of all the serious criminal matters facing the state of Michigan today, we are focused on politics in the Attorney General's office, and the office is attempting to prosecute political adversaries. There is a significant burden placed upon the AG's office to prove the merits of the case as anything more than politics. My opinion appears to be a page out of the Justice Department playbook, all while Governor Whitmer implements bad policy and erodes the sanctity of our elections by signing into law sweeping election reform legislation that undoubtedly most certainly will weaken the safety, security, and accuracy and confidence in the election process outcomes. It's time we stand together as Republicans and recognize who the true enemy of liberty and the American way really is. We must unite, if for nothing more than to defeat the destruction of our constitutional republic. Representative J.D. Boyer.
Thank you, Lisa. Now, Lisa and I called Representative Lisa McLean this afternoon and talked with her for a while. She's in Washington, had to go to a committee, but she sent a statement for us, and Lori Skibo is going to read it for us from the 9th District.
Again, this is from U.S. Congressional Representative Lisa McLean on behalf of Michigan's 9th District. We have a two-tiered justice system in this country, from the federal level and now down to the state. The radical left has made it a criminal defense to be a Republican. This latest attack from our far-left AG, Dana Nessel, who has continuously trampled on the rule of law, is political theater at its worst. I will be tracking the developments and the cases very carefully, and I will continue to fight for a fair and equal justice system for all Americans in our state and our country. There was also, this is not from Lisa McLean, this is from Lori Skibo. There was a question about crowdfunding. There is actually one that is out there currently. I will have it posted to our website this evening as soon as I leave from here. So if you go to mydistrict9.org, that's mydistrict9.org, I will make sure that that crowdfunding link is on our website by this evening. Thank you.
You know, that's another part of this whole scheme. You know, you take citizens, you take them to court, you know you're wrong, but they get to spend every dime they ever earned in their life, lose their home like Angelo Glenn, everything else, be found innocent, and isn't that great? They're finally found innocent, but they're broken.
Yeah.
Right.
What is this that we have? This so-called judicial system. Anyway, lose my place here. Okay, so the 9th District, Dr. Phil O'Halloran is going to be speaking for the 9th District Chair.
Thank everybody for coming down here, and especially thanks to the earlier speakers. The 9th District members, we were all horrified yesterday when we learned the news, and we immediately began texting each other, and I think within a very short period of time, Lori Skibo here said we should write something up and post it, and that's what we've done. So in the full statement, which is about a page long, will be on our website, which already mentioned was midistrict9.org. So the main crux of the matter is that the District 9 Executive Committee strongly condemns the calculated abuse of power, once again demonstrated by this remorseless politician who, after she unsuccessfully referred this case to the U.S. Attorney, and after dangling the threat against these electors for 2 years, finally made good on it today. She does not care about the lives she destroys as long as her actions bring about the desired political result. We Republicans across Michigan need to unite. We need to put aside our petty differences, turf battles, and other squabbles, and organize vigorously against this horrific miscarriage of justice. We need to bring instead the rogue Attorney General Dana Nessel to justice.
Yes.
Raise your voice in loud opposition to the destruction of all of our rights that these indictments represent. Thank you very much.
Now, the 10th District Chair, Barb Sinner, is also a county commissioner, and she had to leave. We started late, as you know. and she had to leave to a commission meeting. So I think that's all the speakers we have. So now, is there any questions for any of us, them or me or whatever? No? Yes, sir?
Are you aware of a specific plan of action or any organized demonstrations being planned to protest this action?
No, I'm sure there will be, but I haven't heard of any yet. This is all just kind of happened. We hurried up and put together this press conference for that purpose because we wanted to get out there and let people know what we think of all this travesty of justice.
Amelia, when you're asking a question, can you please tell us your name and who you're with? Wait, where were you from?
Stephen Kovac, The Epic Times.
Stephen, any other questions at all?
Hi, Mark. I'm Angelo Glenn from Fraser. We know we had fraud in Fraser in the primary before. I got 2 absentee ballots, so I'm going to request from Fellini and from the city of Fraser, because the police had already seen us, to recommend me to work in maybe Edmonds district for fraud in the absentee ballot area.
Okay, thank you. We can talk about that later. Right now, this thing is all about our wonderful Attorney General.
Questions from the press, please.
No other questions?
My son is here.
Yes, sir?
Attorney from the CBS News Detroit. I guess what is the message to those who don't agree with, well, actually, I should say, what is your message to those who agree with the Attorney General and believe that this is a fair election?
Okay, my message is very simple. Read the Constitution of the United States of America. This is the law of the land. The laws they pass in Lansing, they're unconstitutional or illegitimate.
Treason.
And when they pass an unconstitutional law, they're violating their oath of office.
Treason.
We've let this go on in this country and this state for over 30 years. We've watched our state circle the drain. Okay? We now have 13 districts. We had 14 districts. When I got involved in the Republican Party in 1986, we had 19 districts. Our state is going down the drain, and it has been with this uniparty system. Okay? So you just read the law, the Constitution of the United States. They were legally elected electors. The idea of alternate electors has happened many times in American history. Just look it up. I mean, we could do a press conference and I could have all the paperwork here and read all these historical things, and no one would still talk about it. They'd still say, well, they got a right to disagree with it. Yes, you do. We're all Americans. We have a right to disagree with anybody, but there is such a thing as truth.
Yeah.
And we're here for truth. When we want to talk about what's inside the Republican Party, the 16 individuals, some of them don't really care for the Macomb County Republican Party much. But that's not the point. The point is what's true and what's right. These people are being prosecuted. How would you like to be investigated to death, charged unconstitutionally and illegally, and spend every dime you ever worked for to defend yourself with the fear of getting a corrupt court throwing you in prison, or your real hope is you're found innocent because you know you are, but now you're flat broke. You have nothing left. And there's nobody there going to come alongside and say, oh, gee, you were misrepresented, you were treated terribly, you were brought to court and charged with this stuff, and you're found innocent. Tough. Go live what's left of your life the best you can. It happened to General Flynn. He lost everything. Found innocent. Who makes a person whole after something like that? Okay, nobody does. We have all these people in Washington. This terrible insurrection of August 6th, remember that? I'm sorry, April 5th, April 6th, whatever. It's getting so old in American history now, but they're all still in jail for trespassing. And yet groups of people burned 20 cities and none of them arrested. They're arrested and let loose. It's just Lisa McLean said what? The 2 tiers of justice is absolutely true. We have the socialist communists and we have the American people. And they're going to trample on us one by one. They're starting with these 16. They want to destroy that electoral college to sew it up for them forever. And they're going to start going after everybody at election denier. It doesn't matter how much proof you have. It doesn't matter how much evidence you have. They deny, but the American people know it's true.
Right.
The American people know the 2020, 2022 elections are corrupt. They know it. Everybody knows it, but elected officials and the media. and no one will look. You guys are supposed to be the ones that protect us. You're the ones that are supposed to be investigative reporters and dig in and find the truth. Please start thinking about that, because the day's coming when the communists take over, they don't need all these stations. All they need is one or two. So what's your life going to be then? Don't protest it. I'll tell you that right now. So to people that don't agree, pick up a book and read. Look at the law. Look at the Michigan compiled law. Look at the Constitution of the United States and decide for yourself. But people don't want to do it. They want to listen to these individuals that make all kinds of accusations. Any press questions?
Hi, I'm Sam. I'm with Merce News. Do you know what has happened in other states where there were also similar Republican electors that had done similar actions?
No, I don't, but there was never any prosecutions. I mean, it's just something that's happened from time to time. The loser in an election, they feel that something's wrong, so they prepare in case the Congress flips it around and says, hey, this happened before. But it means nothing, because if they don't actually change it, they can't just march to Washington and claim, hey, we're alternate elector. I mean, they wouldn't be accepted. Okay? But if we did not have that situation from time to time, and then they did change the result, guess what? That state's not represented. So their votes don't matter. So it's not new. It's happened before a few times.
What's the message that you think voters should take away from this?
I'm sorry?
What's the message that you think voters should take away from
Which
Please say it again. I didn't quite catch it. What?
this? My name is Simon Schuster. I'm with NLive. What's the message that you think voters should take away from this?
I think the voters of Michigan more and more are starting to realize there's more and more evidence coming out that their elections are fraudulent. And when I say that, I mean they're not elections, they're selections. I even said that to a Washington Township board a few weeks ago, that the people, that I picked on them, but it's everybody. When you go to vote for a village, do you really decide on that village? Or is that predetermined? We think it's predetermined. Did all this dope crack that we know that everybody we talk to don't like it, but somehow it passed in Michigan overwhelmingly, now we got it in every stinking corner for our kids. Did that really pass? We don't know. The problem is we found so much evidence of our elections, and no one will look at it. We can't judge whether our elections are legitimate or not. Why don't they prove us all to be stupid or lying or whatever you want to say? Why don't they prove it by auditing everything as they should have and show the whole world, see, these people are idiots. They don't do it because we're not idiots. We know. We've been doing tons of investigations. There's investigations going on right now. 2020, 2022. They destroyed poll books. Again, Nessel, is that her name? She's going after these people, and yet we know that there's all kinds of the poll books they won't release, many of them. We got a few. You have FOIA, okay? What's that mean again? Freedom of Information Act. You FOIA public information because you think there might be something wrong, you got a right to do so, right? They won't give it up. Then we find out that, our poll books are no longer paper, they're computerized. You know, did you ever hear Wells Fargo, folks, how great their system is for protecting their clients? So everything's computerized, and now we're finding out that we can't have it. We can't have the poll books because they're computerized. They're public records. But no, they're not hiding anything. They deny everything all the time, left and right, left and right. They deny access to everything. I understand today there was people denied access to a building that they were trying to get some information on. But anyway, we have a right as American citizens to question our elections. But they are trying to make it a crime to question our elections. And it started with some of our own Republicans. A gentleman named Shirky. He was the head of the Senate, but his good buddy was it? McBroom, that's right. The Senate report, you guys can look it up. The Senate report, I got a copy here somewhere, but right in the middle of the report, they say that people questioning our elections should be prosecuted. That is against the Constitution of the United States. He should have lost his position for that. He violated his oath of office. He should have been removed. But no, he says citizens who clearly have rights have no right to criticize our election. And forgive me, guys, but where are you? Where's our defenders? Where's the purveyors of truth? Where are the people, the investigative reporters that just look up basic stuff like that? And we hear nothing but crickets. And the people of this state are suffering. We're in a war in Ukraine that never would have happened, except we have an installed leader in the White House, installed by the FBI, the DOJ, okay, the CIA, the media, Benson and all these with their corrupt elections, and the people in America are suffering. And we're going to fight, and we're going to keep on fighting.
Amen.
And that's the way it is. We're never going to quit. Never going to quit. Look into it. Look at the evidence. You can't, 2 + 2 is 4. You can do all that common core garbage all you want, but if you got 2 apples, I got 2 apples, you give me your 2 and I give them to him, he's got 4. That's all there is to it. Look that up in facts too. Look up the laws. Look up what's going on. Please, the people of America need an honest, investigative media. They really do. Any other questions?
I know that you all mentioned like crowdfunding. Is there any other efforts that you have in the works right now?
We haven't started. This just kind of happened yesterday, I think. I mean, so we haven't been involved in anything like that at this point.
Stephen Kovac with the Epic Times. Do you think that the prosecution would be able to prove that the 16 electors had the intent to injure and commit fraud? Had the intent to injure and commit fraud?
I don't know. I don't know how you do such a thing. I just heard that kind of recently that you have to prove intent on things. So it doesn't matter if I go out and murder someone. What matters is, did I intend to do it? I mean, so that's a defense now. You got to prove intent or whatever. I don't know what to think of that, to tell you the truth, sir. I really don't. I think it's ridiculous. I think that we need a judicial system whereby if somebody committed a crime, you pay. And if you didn't, you didn't. It's almost like a score thing now with the defense and the prosecution. You know, how many victories as opposed to was the person really guilty or was he really innocent? We're in a bad way. Our society has developed in a way whereby truth is one of the last things discussed. But I don't know what to think of that. I'm sorry, I can't really answer. I don't know. Yes?
I'm Tom. I'm a Macomb County Republican Party member. I'm a grassroots. I have a concern. This 16 people that were just indicted was shortly after Trump.
Oh yeah, it's all choreographed.
I'm very concerned, and I want the media to hear this. I'm very concerned that these people are going to be pressured. Some of these people are elderly and are looking at many years in jail. I'm worried they're going to be pressured to say something about Trump and colluding with Mr. Trump here in Michigan, which will further the case against him.
It's very possible. That's the way socialism
It's
works.
already happened to Steve Bannon, Mark Manafort, and a couple others.
Could happen.
We have to watch for that.
There's media in the back here.
Yes, sir.
I just want to follow up again. Everybody was talking about CBS News Detroit. I know you had said the 16 that were federally charged. I mean, they're probably not looking at Macomb to see how this impacts the GOP here. But as a GOP, how are you guys going to move forward? I know this is really fresh, but
It's hard to answer that question in that I don't know what impact it had. We're interested in the truth. Okay, if we have someone that's guilty of something, we'll be the first one to say. America's at the point now where we desperately need truth out of our elected officials, no matter RD, whatever the heck they are. And we have a lot of Republicans that give us a lot of problems in Lansing, voting for terrible things. So we are not concerned about our reputation as a party. What we're concerned about is the truth of what's going on. If you shed light on the truth, we can fix problems if they exist.
Amen.
We've got big problems. So with us, we're going to get pushed back over this thing here. Believe me, we'll have some people say, oh, some of the guests you had, blah, blah, blah. I mean, we're concerned about the truth. What is true? Are these 16 people being persecuted? Were they questioned? Were they legally elected? That's a question. Is it proper that they became alternate electors? I'm sorry. Is that proper? If so, look in history. Has it happened before?
Yes.
What happened? It's fully proper, nothing improper. They could not in any way, shape, or form change the outcome of the election. They were just there if someone else did it to go vote. That's my understanding of the system. The little bit I read about the history, I didn't realize the history of it until this morning. I read some of it. And it is not uncommon that it's happened before many times. And the Democrats have done it, and the Republicans. It depends who lost, right? It depends on the controversy involved in the election and who was the loser and who was the winner, whether it's a Democrat group or a Republican group that does this alternate thing. There was nothing illegally done, and she knows it. But they have an agenda to turn Michigan into a socialist state full of Chinese and their damn battery factories and every other darn thing. That's their agenda. And the grassroots movement in Michigan, the conservatives in Michigan among the Republican Party has to be squashed. And that's all there is to it. And they will do anything it takes like they've done in every other country. Look up history.
Mark, I have a question for the press.
Huh?
I have a question for the press.
I don't know if that's...
I don't know. It's something for them to think about. I was just talking to a gentleman here from the Epic Times, and he said, I don't know if you're all familiar with Locust Standy, but he said he did a big story on Locust Standy. I said, did you get your voting record yet? He said, no. How the hell do you do an investigative report and not getting a critical piece of information? That's ridiculous. How do you get this?
In fact, I was in Washington Township
Get your voting
2 weeks ago,
records.
and they showed how two of the people on the board showed their voting record and how it was wrong. And naturally just sat there looking at you.
Yeah.
Why is it that we Americans, so many of us, don't care about the integrity of our election? And I think more and more are starting to care. But anyway, yes?
Just to follow up on her question, 2016, the Democratic Party did send their own electors during the election for President Trump. So what we did on standby in case the election was misreported, we were ready to go.
2016, are you sure of that?
Yes.
Yes.
It's been reported
You
in
can look it up.
multiple outlets. You can Google it and find it. I left my hard copy at the house, but when she asked that question, it reminded me the Democrats did do this in 2016.
So how would we like to be dragged into court? Something like that. But anyway, is there any other questions? It's getting late. I'm sorry we started late.
Mike?
From the
One
media,
issue.
Peter.
Yeah, from the media, please, because this is the press conference. Any questions from you guys? No, well then I just want to thank you all for being
Quick
here.
question about the rallies. Every Sunday, 23 Mile and then Dyke, we're having a rally. Every Sunday, noon to 3. So all of you are welcome, including media.
Yep, it's going on for years. Rain, winter, doesn't matter. Anyway, I want to thank you all for attending very much, for being here. Sorry we started off so late. Thank you very much.
You want to grab the light?
Yeah.